Join us for a review of the all-new VW Golf 8 variant, the new estate. Let's go. In the front, Golf 8 hatch and estate are not too different. You can see here the headlamp design is like upside down if you compare it to the previous generation. The daytime running light is very beautifully integrated here with the light strip in the middle part. Then also here the signature there. Main headlamp unit LED standard and an optional, the so-called IQ light. That's the matrix LED for elaborated high beam functions. This vehicle is also the R line. The variant, the estate, is available in Life, Style and R-Line trims so far, and also in the Alltrack trim. The length is at 4.63 m, 15'2" or 182 inches, and that means 8 centimeters or 3 inches longer than the previous generation. So you have, first of all, a gain in wheelbase and then also a little bit more longer overhang. And this is really interesting because so far hatch and estate did share the same wheelbase. Now actually the wheelbase here is longer than in the hatch. The Golf 8 variant shares then the same wheelbase with the Seat Leon ST, the Sports Tourer and also the Skoda Octavia. This will have a massive impact here on the rear legroom. Normal Golf would even start with 15-inch steel wheels, then you go with 16-inch aluminum, 17, 18, 19 would be maximum then for the sports models. This one here at the moment in the R-Line, optional 18-inch, R-Line would start with 17, 18-inch wheels also in the black design. And once again this black pack with the high gloss accentuations, then here also in the lower part, so a very strong look. And in the rear, hatch and estate, once again, not too different. More modern tail lamp design right here. ETSI, by the way, means that this is the mild hybrid technology for this turbo petrol engine. Soon more about the engines. Then the R-Line with the black pack, once again with the shiny black contrast in the lower part. And this is here a massive case for the Autogefühl fake exhaust police. Now about the engines. First of all, here the missing gas strut. You can argue about that if it's maybe, standard, should be standard for a Golf. But then again, they also say it's better for pedestrian safety, of course, when it's put down, because then there's less resistance from the hood in the front pedestrian crash. Interesting. Then the horsepower range will be some 110 horsepower to probably 320 horsepower then in the Golf R variant, which we also expect. But the usual engines would then be either 1 liter turbo petrol engine, 3-cylinder, 110 horsepower, then the 1.5 turbo petrol engine, 1.5 liter with the new mild hybrid technology, when you have also the DSG in combination, and then the 2-liter TDI. There is one 150 horsepower version with the all-wheel drive possible, for example, and the Alltrack will exclusively now get a 200 horsepower all-wheel drive version, that again only available for the Alltrack. The highlight of this very vehicle is the seats. There is the base seat available for the Golf 8, and there's a ergo comfort seat, fabric and microfiber mixes, no animal skin. And here, this is then the optional sport seat in the R line. Same form will also be for the GTI and the hatch, for example. And this is a very, very cool mix. I mean, it looks pretty fancy. fabric on the inside, microfiber then on the inside bolsters, and outside some leatherette. So this seat is all animal-free, and the whole Golf will almost all be animal-free, except for the steering wheel and the higher trims. They're working on that. Also, the comfort for these sport seats is really good for tall persons. You're a little bit tighter here in the upper shoulder areas, but still they don't cage you in. So you still feel very comfortable, really at home. And the comfort of the seats in general of the Golf has been improved. At the moment here in the lowest position, and with the 1.6 or 6.1, there's still some headroom left. No problem for tall adults. However, this one here then with the panoramic roof, this one does reduce then the headroom a little bit. So if you want more headroom, you would leave out the panoramic roof. Here, however, of course, you can open it and then have some more light in the interior. Interior overview in the front is not really different from the normal Golf 8 hatch. In this new generation, also soft plush top part. And here the design lines, they get a little bit more narrow to the outside. I think that's really well done. Then the integrated screen here on the right side, either 8.25 inch or 10 inch screen. This one here is the bigger screen as well. Soon more details to this screen. Other thing I can already tell you is here the volume control right here with sliders, and also the temperature control here with sliders. And this is really splitting opinion. No, I think it's not splitting opinions. Everyone dislikes it. Sorry, that's it. Then on the left side, 10.25 inch digital instruments. This is always standard, just like it is. And I think it's also a good choice not to have different sizes there, on the left side. So more details for that. On the right side here of the steering wheel, we have a heated steering wheel. That's quite good, of course. Nice option in 3 levels. And then you slide here for next song, for example. And this one here is to control the inside of the digital instruments. And you get something like acoustic feedback as well. You feel also that something is, reacting there inside, but still you don't have such a good feeling as it would be a normal knob, especially while driving. I think that's really irritating. Then the infotainment software here, you have this app view in the main menu, but I think it already looks somewhat outdated, doesn't it? This is always the main menu button. You could also have this main menu where you can individualize. This is here the GPS map. You can see here, this is the Volkswagen main plant, the headquarters in Wolfsburg. Should be a little bit more responsive, I guess. Then you can activate the climate unit here, or then again with the hotkey in the lower part. And then you also have access either classic climate, or you have these climate programs like Cool My Feet or so. It's supposed to make it a little bit easier, but still to access it while driving, definitely a little bit more complicated. The digital instruments also show how hot it is here. So we are sweating for you in the studio, 34 degrees Celsius. So that's very well in the 90s, if not close to the 100s in Fahrenheit. So you can see here the digital gauges in an analog style. This is possible, but you can also check out the view. For example, have the map bigger. This is also one of the advantages then of the digital instruments. So I think that's also well done. So you can see a lot, but have the flexibility. You can also see, and change what you want to have here on the left or right side, so you can really individualize everything. And now to the rear compartment. Big change there. First of all, also the R-line design means more microfiber here. However, at the back part, this is the hardpack at the inside of the doors in the rear. You can argue about that. And then rest is also the same design as in the front end, especially here very well done in the R-line once again with the gray microfiber. Really a beautiful job. But of course, the legroom. It's all about the legroom here, since we have the longer wheelbase, 4 centimeters or 1.5 inches more in legroom. And this is indeed a big difference then to the Golf hatch. See here, a lot of legroom is left, and this is really very good. Comfortable seating position. Nice also that they have somewhat a single seat design here in the rear, and you have really a lot of legroom. This is then comparable to a Seat Leon ST in the new generation and the Skoda Octavia, because once again, Octavia, Leon ST and the Golf variant, the Golf Estate, they do share the same wheelbase then. So this is a massive advantage if you go for the variant and want more space in the rear. Then I think also a nice decision that you have then the hatch with a shorter wheelbase, also for the GTI, for example, for more agility. And then the variant with the longer wheelbase, because you would buy the Estate anyway when you want more practicability, right? So I think a good choice. And now, of course, about the boot space, 611 to 1,642 liters. A couple of liters more than before, than in the previous generation, but what does it mean? First of all, this cover here, very cleverly integrated, just press it down once and twice. So this is a very clean and good solution. Have the rails on the side. Then here also an even loading sill. This is very practical to put things in and out, and you can also remove this whole cover or load more things underneath. A replacement tire would also fit right there. Then just to put some sample luggage in, like this, that you have a good imagination of that, and you can also put it in a vertical way and it still fits underneath there. That's cool. Then you can also fold the seats directly from here. This is a very good solution. And some measurements for you. First of all, the loading sill here. This is about 60 centimeters. Then the width, just a normal cover. This is a meter here, also between here and a little bit longer than here between the wheel arches. The total height is about 70 centimeters. And to the sides here with the rails, so under the cover, it's about 46 centimeters. That's quite decent. And the normal length of the trunk before we fold the seats is more than a meter. Then we can also fold the second half right here, and it folds very well, very flat. So this is how it's supposed to be. Good rails at the side, folding the seats from the trunk, releasing them there. Good square dimensions. So probably the best compact Estate as for this. And this is almost 1.90 meters. So once again, I think this is exactly how it should be done. And now to our conclusion for today with the new VW Golf variant. Der Golf-Variant, as we say in German. So I think the exterior, and it is quite astonishing, from this new Golf 8 generation, I think that the exterior design works better here for the Estate than for the hatch. So I did prefer the hatch from the Golf 7 generation design-wise, but here I think here for the Estate it works very, very well. Especially and also with the Alltrack version, I think that really looks very, very good. But also here the sporty R-Line, this also definitely has something. Of course, still the evolutionary change on the exterior, not too big, however. Interior, great with the sport seats. Also the Alltrack seats are really good. In general, the whole new seat design from the form and from the materials is really top notch. That's, almost all animal free. Better in the comfort definitely, and very high class materials as for that. However, the user interface, this is actually a big problem. The digital instruments are just fine, but when you go for these optional steering wheels with the capacitive fields, that's a fail. And also the software in the infotainment system, and that you have these sliders for the volume and also for the temperature. This is just not a step forward, it's a massive step backwards, and that's really a pity because hardware-wise, this is one of the best cars on the market, definitely. They just have a failure in the software, same what we recently found out with the Volkswagen ID.3. I hope they will improve that, at least you can improve software-wise. However, user interface, steering wheel-wise, this is also like a mix between software and hardware, definitely. Then, big news here definitely for the Estate, because we have more legroom than before now, and this is definitely a very good step ahead. So, when you went for a Golf Estate, usually you want to have some more space in the trunk and for your family and so on, or maybe go on holiday. This is now really good legroom here. The exterior-interior relation is really top-notch, so definitely comparable now, also of the same wheelbase now to a Skoda Octavia or to a Seat Leon ST. Also, the Leon ST has also grown in this wheelbase now, so they did the same then for the Golf. So very comfortable also in rear, very well usable, and also what they did with the trunk, how you control this, everything. This is what they are good at, so and they can do this very well. So I wonder why they didn't keep it, let's say, a little bit more solid also as for the user interface. That would have been better, definitely. Overall, still a very good package. might still be one of the best estates here in the compact segment on the market. Also driving-wise, what we already know from the hatch, very comfortable because the hardware is so well done, so solid. Good compromise between comfort and sportiness, especially if you go for the optional adaptive suspension. And also what we scored as for fuel economy with the mild hybrid engines, the new mild hybrid engines, the petrols, was already very good in the hatch. This will not be that different in the estate, so we can also expect some good results from that. So soon also tune in to the driving review here of the Golf Estate. I hope you enjoyed our tour here for today. And tell us, would you rather go for the R-Line or for the Alltrack we had here today? Let's discuss in the comments. See you next time.